already see your eyes glazing over, so if you're not familiar with this, all you need to know is that red means bad, and that we are taking far more than what the planet can give. This leads to injustices all over the world where people aren't getting enough to eat because of climate change's effect on agriculture, and animals are struggling to survive in polluted habitats. To halt this fatal progression, we need to take actions like reducing our greenhouse gas emissions and minimizing our single-use plastic production. But you probably already knew these things. In fact, a study done from a few years ago suggests that 72% of Canadians are worried about climate change. 77% believe that we're at a crisis point for biodiversity loss. That was 2 years ago. But I'm willing to bet that you still buy takeout from time to time, you still take vacation flights to faraway places, and if you're my age demographic, you like to buy new clothes for cheap. Oh. So these are some pretty big assumptions. Why am I making them? It's because I'm the same way. These are all my photos. But if you're like me, you do care. You care about helping humanity stay within the planetary boundaries. What many of us seem to do, however, is forget to show that we care. So let's start there. Why do we take actions that blatantly disregard the value of our collective home? Today I'm going to present to you 3 reasons for that, and 3 ways that we can pay a little bit more attention. Number 1, you probably already know that bad news negatively impacts your mental health. But what you may not have known is that your brain can do something cool when it's subjected to the same bad news over and over. It gets less affected by sadness and fear and all those other challenging emotions. Just by looking at this photo of an article detailing how climate change is ruining chocolate, you already probably want to stop listening to me, and I can't blame you. We can't always be walking around in a state of fear, so to prevent that, our brains stop caring. It's really good self-protection, but it's also preventing us from thinking about these issues with the consideration and the compassion that they require. That's why this is also sometimes called compassion fatigue. Now, I want us to do a little visualization exercise together, because there is a better world available, one where we're not too tired out to act in a meaningful way, and I want to take you there. So everybody close your eyes, and once your eyes are closed, you can imagine that you're pulling out your phone. Now, open your favorite news app. It can be TikTok, no one's watching. And I don't know what you expect to see, but what you do see is the headline. New program is helping consumers reduce food waste. You read about how a surplus food store has joined forces with your favorite supermarket to give you the opportunity to save food that is perfectly good from going to the landfill. Inspired, you start buying this food for half the price of your normal groceries, putting less of a strain on your wallet and on our agricultural resources. Now, let's take another look at that headline. So if your eyes are still closed, you can open them. And you can see that I paraphrased, but can you also see that this headline focuses on a solution, one that you can be a part of, rather than just the problem? The good news, other than this, is that this type of media is within your reach. You just have to know where to look. From Solutions Journalism Network to Happy Eco News to countless others, there are news outlets everywhere looking to lift you up. Moving on to number 2. Do you ever really want to do what's right for the environment and make decisions with the planet in mind, but all your friends just bought really cute matching shirts from an online fast fashion store, and the urge to match has just overcome you, and all of a sudden, your shirt's going to be there in 5 days after a 12,000 kilometer plane ride? We've all been there, or somewhere like there, and it's because we tend to conform. In the 1950s, researchers did a study where they placed subjects in a room and gave them a quiz question with one clearly correct answer. It was so obvious. But this room contained fake participants who gave only the wrong answer. When subjects heard the wrong answer, they tended to also reply with the wrong answer. They conformed. We conform. Even if we know something isn't the right thing to do, we might do it anyway if we see that everyone else is doing it too. This leads to a vicious cycle in environmental action where people don't take action, which encourages more people not to take action, which incentivizes more people not to take action. So to halt this cycle, you can start hanging out with people who take action. You can team up with a friend, or join a club, or a community, where there's a local garbage cleanup group, a push to improve waste diversion in your workplace, or a native tree planting initiative near your house. Being part of a collective effort changes the social norms that your brain perceives and transforms the kind of things that you conform to. You might be more likely, for instance, to buy a thrifted item rather than something fast fashion if the people around you are doing that too and holding you accountable. Moving on to number 3. There's one more peculiar thing that happens when we notice that other people aren't doing their part. We think to ourselves, why should I be the one to make sacrifices? I'm just one person, so it's not like it would make any difference at all. This type of thinking, and the societal consequences that come with it, have a name: the tragedy of the commons. Now, you may have heard of it already, but if you haven't, it's a situation where the right thing to do for collective benefit comes at a high cost to individuals. There doesn't seem to be a point in paying this price because there's no guarantee at all that everyone else will do so. This leads to a tragedy where no one does what's best for everyone else and everyone suffers in the end. So when you see that the people around you aren't taking the action that they have the opportunity to, it's really easy to feel disheartened and like your actions don't matter, but they do. The only thing to do then is remind others that theirs do as well. So for instance, if you care a lot about native vegetation and your friend is about to plant an invasive tree in their backyard, and you know that there are going to be ecological consequences that come with that, you could suggest an alternative, a different tree, a different decoration. Provide a solution, just like the headline did. Now, this is a very hard thing to do because no one wants to be a buzzkill. I've definitely avoided speaking up in the past for fear of isolating myself or seeming obnoxious. But here's the thing. If more people start to shift the way we talk about things and normalize this kind of solutions giving, if more people start calling out the glamorization of overconsumption or the flaws in the meat industry, if more and more people start focusing on things we can do to help rather than just brushing off the problem, then more and more people will get on board and you and I won't feel so alone. So, to recap, what are the 3 things you can do to stop avoiding this issue in your everyday life? You can consume solutions-based news so that you can see how many antidotes we have, not just problems. You can join a collective effort to save your local or your global environment in order to change the social norms you conform to. And you can encourage others to consider their environmental impact in their everyday activities so that the world around you becomes a little bit more enlightened. By doing even one of these things, even just a little bit, we can shift the way that we talk about the climate crisis and environmental crisis in general, to find a new tone of voice that isn't dismissive or accusatory or intimidating, but clear and hopeful. A society enjoying cleaner air, water, and soil, where everybody can find peace of mind and know that no matter the scale of the problem, they are doing what they can to solve it. That is my vision for our changing world. Thank you.